Welcome back to the Tech Fighter channel, and man, do we have a competition, a fight for tonight. We're talking about medium duty cases, and we're talking about two of the best here. Talking about UAG, their Plasma series, and Element Case, usually known for their iPhone cases, coming in with their REV case. Well, what do we think about the boxes? Who cares about the boxes, right? We're going to set those aside because this is what we're here for. The cases themselves. Let's get right into it. Let's go ahead and start with the UAG, and we'll slide this super beautiful beast of a phone, Galaxy S8 Plus, in there, and you see how easily it goes into the case. Let's start by looking at the buttons. There is your power button. Nice ridge pattern on that power button, same as on the Bixby button. The volume up and down, it's got a nice little plus and minus sign on there, and it's really responsive, as is the power button. That one, it feels so great. I mean, you can find it easily because of that ridge, and it turns the phone off and on easily. Buttons are good on this case. I like them. Let's look at the edges. The top edge, the bottom edge, nice raised edges. So you set it down, you're protected. However, check out the sides. Now, to show how low those side rails go, I'm going to turn it on and see how you can see the screen when it turns on. Why? Because the screen is higher than the side rails. If you rub your finger over it, you can feel the slope down before you get to the side of the case. So this is a concern for me, because if you're going to drop the phone and it falls at an angle, it could possibly hit the edge, something like that, and I'm not sure that the edge would be protected. I don't like how thin those side rails are, so that's not that great. As far as the corners are nicely reinforced. You can see that extra bit of material there on the corners, so a drop that would go on the corner would be fairly well protected. As far as the openings, check out the openings. The openings look good for the headphone port, for the charging port, for your speaker, for your mic. Everything looks good. On top for your other mic, that looks good as well. So the openings are good. Check out the opening for the back, for the camera, for the flash and the fingerprint sensor. It's nice and deep. Great protection for the camera. And look at this little bit of indentation there. Makes it easy to find your fingerprint spot right there. So I like that. The openings are good. I like the openings on this phone. As far as the back, man, check that out. Talk about super sexy. You know, if a case could be sexy, this would be sexy. Now, I know some people may not like it, but I really like the militaristic look on this case in this color, and the way it just shimmers with that chrome UAG and this citron color. I think it's gorgeous. The pattern on the back looks really cool, and these fake screws, I think it adds a nice kind of militaristic look that I really like. Now, as far as the grip, in the hand, it doesn't feel that great. I think it might be because of the thin side rails. Maybe it's because the back has, you know, it's kind of busy, and so you can kind of feel all of that. It doesn't feel as solid in the hand, but it's a good case. I mean, it provides fairly good protection. It looks great, and you know, usability is good. Just a couple of minor issues there on the side rails and on the grip not being, you know, perfect. But it's a beautiful case. You can't go wrong with UAG. Now let's go ahead and move on. See how easily that comes out. Let's move on to the Element case. Okay, let's slide this phone on here. Boom. Yep. Goes on easily on this one as well. So let's start by looking at the buttons. Again, on these buttons, on this case, they actually are really well defined as well. They don't have a ridge on the power and the Bixby button, but they are cut out really cleanly in a real precise fashion. So they feel really good. You can feel the response when you press the up and down volume. You can tell that it did activate the button. The power button, check out how raised it is here on the side. That is really cool because as you're holding the phone, it just naturally goes to that bump and boom, you turn it on easily. I really like the buttons. The buttons are a go on this case. As far as the edges, look at the top edge, look at the bottom edge. It's not as pronounced as the UAG, but it does give you that face down protection when you set the phone on the table. As far as the edges, let's try the same thing. Let's go ahead and power it on. Let's see what happens. Okay, see on this one you can also see it, but not as much. You can see where the screen turns on, but you can't see it as much because the side rails are thicker. So when you rub your finger across the screen, it doesn't slope down before you can touch the edge of the case. You actually feel it before the edge slopes down, and it doesn't affect the usability at all of the side. Okay, it just works really well. So I think there's better protection on the edges, top, bottom, and sides on this case than there is on the UAG. As far as the corners, check out those corners, man. Talk about reinforced corners. Do those look reinforced? You better believe it. If you're gonna have a corner drop, you are well protected. And the amount of this black material, which is the more protective material, is higher than it is on the UAG. You see that? So I just feel like the case is a lot more protected. The phone is a lot more protected in this case than in the UAG. As far as the openings look good. Check that out. The headphone, the charger, the speaker, the mic. Same thing on the top. Yep, looks good. Openings are good. Generous over here on the camera and the fingerprint sensor. No indentation there, but it's nice and deep on that opening, so the camera is protected, and it's easy to find the fingerprint sensor. There you go. So it looks pretty good as far as the openings. The back, the design is pretty cool. Now, some of you might be thinking, is that a knockoff from the UAG? But no, it isn't. This is actually some of the same design language they have on their iPhone cases that they've had for quite a while now. If you haven't seen my previous review on the Adrenaline series case for the iPhone 7 Plus, it's called the Sector. Go ahead and click that link right here that I just placed right there, and you can see that review. It's a beautiful high-end case. This, they brought down the price a little bit, so it's a little bit different as far as the materials used, but it's kind of like the same design language. And I really like what they're doing here with this case. I think this may be one of their first Android phone cases, if I'm not mistaken. So the feel in the hand, because it's not that busy in the back, even though it has a nice design, it's kind of a solid back plate. It feels really good in the hand. And then the buttons, the corners, everything kind of just flows in really well into my my palm. I just like how this case feels in my hand. So it's time to pick a winner. Which one do you think I'm going to pick? Well, if you've seen some of my previous videos, you know that the way I pick a case is by picking which one I would have or I would buy if I could only buy one. I'll tell you right now, I would love to have the UAG, and I'm glad I do, and I'm gonna keep it. But if I could only have one, I'd probably spend the money on the Element. Why? Because it just does everything right. There's no major complaints against this one. Whereas with the UAG, I do have a couple of little issues with it. You know, the side protection and the grip is not as great. But you can't go wrong with either of these cases. They're both beautiful. They're both offer good protection. They both have good usability. They're just nice cases all the way around. But the winner of this competition video is the Element Case, the REV. Alrighty guys, so since this was a competition video, you know that I'm going to be giving away something. Now I'm not going to announce the winner of the giveaway the way I have in previous videos. Instead, I'm just going to put it down in the comments. We'll go ahead and put the winner in those comments after a few days. And the reason I'm saying after a few days is because I want to qualify as many people as possible for the free case that I'm going to be giving away. Now, if you are a subscriber, you're already qualified. But if you want to increase your chances, comment something, like the video, follow my Instagram account, follow my Twitter account, put some comments over there. As a matter of fact, just today, May 29th, I posted the case that I'm going to be giving away in the comments of this video. Now there's 3 different cases there, so you guys get to pick which one you want, but you'll have to go to the Instagram account to be able to find out which cases are up for grabs. And you know, why not go ahead and go for it in the comments there, say which one you would prefer. Now like I said, the links are in the description of this video, so you can hit those accounts when you get a chance. Also, the links, I'm gonna be putting some links in the description to where you can buy one of these cases. If you know, you wanted to buy one of these, you can go to their websites and choose the case there. So if you guys have any questions, feel free to let me know. I'll try to answer you in your comments as soon as in the comment section as soon as possible. And of course, don't forget to click that robot in the circle on the bottom right hand corner. That's what you click so you can subscribe to this channel. Thanks for your time, guys. Hasta la vista.